Welcome back. Hope you had a good time practicing. Let's review the G chord. You put your third finger in the third fret, 1, 2, 3, on the first string. Then you strum the top 4 strings. There's your easy G chord. Now let's review the rhythm chart. A whole note gets 4 counts, a whole rest gets 4 counts. A half note gets 2 counts, a half rest gets 2 counts. A quarter note gets 1 count, and a quarter rest gets 1 count. Now let's look at the rhythm on Day Is Done. You play your G chord, just like this, then you play 2 quarter notes and a half note. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try the song. Let's make a G chord. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, rest, rest.
Day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. God is nigh.
It's time for a new chord. This is another easier version. This time it's the C chord. Let's look at the chord chart. You put your first finger in the first fret on the second string and your second finger in the second fret on the fourth string. Then play the highest 4 strings. Let's practice the count and play pattern on a C chord. Make the C chord, first finger, second finger. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do it with the accompaniment. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. You only use 1 chord on Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So let's try Row, Row, Row Your Boat. 1, 2, ready, play.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
3 Blind Mice only has 1 chord, and it's our C chord. So let's try 3 Blind Mice. 1, 2, 3, 4.
3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all ran into the barroom once. They chased them up in the carving knife. Did ever you see such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice.
Time for another new chord. This chord is an easy G7. We're going to put our first finger in the first fret and play the top 4 strings. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is a G7 chord. Now we're going to switch between C and G7. Here's where it gets a little trickier. You make your C chord, and then you bring your second finger up and lean your first finger back. And now you've got a G7. And then put them back for the C, and then move to the G7. You want to move quickly, and you want to keep as many fingers down at all times that you can. Make your easy C chord. Use the chart to help you. And then strum it, make sure everything's ringing true. And then move to the G7. Use your chord chart. And then let's move back. Put your first finger down and then your second finger. Play the C chord, then lift up your second finger and lean your first finger back. Let's switch between them a little bit. C, G7, C, G7, C, G7, C. The more you practice that, the more your fingers will get used to it, and you'll get what's referred to as muscle memory, and your fingers will just naturally go where they need to. Let's switch between the easy C and the easy G7. Start here with your C, and then move out to the G7, and then go back to the C, and then go back to the G7. Here's the C, here's the G7. And when you can do that without looking at your fingers each time, then you're ready to try the example. And the example would be 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, move. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, move. 1, 2, 3, 4. After you've played a while, you'll notice that your fingers start to get calluses. And that's a good thing, because then it doesn't hurt on the tips of your finger where you're pushing on the strings. The strings are usually made of metal, and you have some resistance and some friction, so your body naturally reacts and makes a callus there. And that it just takes a little while for that callus to get built up, and then you'll be able to play for hours on end without them hurting. But until you get there, there's a couple of things you can do. For one thing, take a break and then come back to it. If your fingers are really red and sore, you'll probably have to stop. You don't really want to play until your fingers bleed. Sometimes a little ice on the tips will help them cool down a little bit. Then you can come back and practice. Now, in general, you have to take care of your fingers, otherwise they'll be sore a lot of the time. And if your fingers are sore, you can't really play the guitar. So if you have a hangnail, trim it off. Don't leave it there so that it rips and tears. And the other part is, if you have a fingernail that's kind of snaggy and rough, file it down so it's smooth, so it doesn't catch on the strings. It's a good idea to use lotion, not before you play the guitar. You want to use the lotion when you're not going to be putting your hands on the guitar, because the gunk from the lotion will build up in the strings. The other thing is, if it's cold weather, you'll want to wear gloves. You just don't want your fingers to crack, and the cold weather will make them do that sometimes. So you have to be very aware of what can go on. Now, there's many different kinds of strings, and all strings have different things that you'll like about them. And as you play guitar a while, you'll pick strings by the sound and by the way they react to your fingers. On an acoustic guitar, you almost have what is referred to as bronze wound. For every 40 hours that you play, you're supposed to put new strings on. I have rarely seen people starting on a guitar that didn't have strings that were causing them to struggle. You put a lighter gauge of strings on. Gauges are measured in the 1/1000th of an inch, and the lighter the gauge, the smaller the string, the easier it is to push on them. The heavier the gauge, the bigger the string, the better the sound, but the more difficult it is to play. On an electric, you need a nickel coating, because that reacts with the pickups. On a classical style guitar, the strings are wound a little different, kind of like a ukulele, and the strings are actually plastic. And some people think that makes it easier to start on because your fingers don't have to push as hard on plastic. You'll still have to push, and you'll still have calluses. And my problem with playing a classical guitar is the neck is wider, and so you struggle with getting your hands around it. One of the things you also want to remember is, before you play guitar, always wash your hands. You don't know what's there. And when you're through playing guitar, if you've been sweating, it's a good idea to take just a dry cloth, wipe the strings off, get the sweat and the gunk off of them. It'll make your strings last longer, make your fingers feel better. Well, I think we've been playing long enough that you don't need all of those counts written in under your part. So from now on, we're not going to have the numbers written in there. You'll have to count all on your own. This old man has 2 chords, a C and a G7. Let's try This Old Man. 1, 2, ready, go.
This old man, he played one. He played knick-knack on my drum with a knick-knack, paddywhack, gave my dog a bone. This old man came rolling home.
Skip to My Lou has a C and a G7. Let's try Skip to My Lou. 1, 2, ready, play.
Choose your partner, skip to my loo. Choose your partner, skip to my loo. Choose your partner, skip to my loo. Skip to my loo, my darling. Loo, loo, skip to my loo. Loo, loo, skip to my loo. Loo, loo, skip to my loo. Skip to my loo, my darling.
Here's London Bridge. There's a C and a G, not a G7, a regular G. Do you remember how we made the G? Again, this song switches between the C and the G. 1, 2, ready, and.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Lightly Row has a C and a G. Let's try Lightly Row. You have to switch quickly between the C and the G. 1, 2, ready, and. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, ready, play.
Lightly row, o'er the shining waves we go. Smoothly glide on a silent tide. Let the winds and waters be mingled with our melody. Sing and float in our little boat.
That about does it for today. Hope you had a good time playing. Remember, the more you practice, the better you get. The better you get, the more fun it is.